Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the Online Series 8 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we used this really fun team featuring Necrozma, Dawn Wings, and Liepard with Copycat, so we'll be playing a couple more games with it today. Before we get started, today's episode is sponsored by The Ridge. The Ridge makes some really awesome lifestyle products, and their most popular product is the Ridge Wallet, which you can see right here. The Ridge Wallet is a super minimalistic wallet. It's able to fit up to 12 cards between these two metallic plates, and there's also a band or strap for cash here in the back. Super easy to use. You slide out your cards using this little indent here, pull out whatever you need, and slide back as such. Since getting the Ridge Wallet about a year ago, I've been using this nonstop, and it is definitely my favorite wallet that I have ever had. If you don't believe me, though, there are thousands of 5-star reviews for this product, and you can also get free shipping, free returns, and a lifetime warranty on this. So you can always, feel free to try out the wallet. If you decide you don't like it, ship it back to them within 45 days, and you can get your money back. I personally am using the carbon fiber one. Currently, I'm on their website, rich.com/VGC. You can use code VGC for 10% off your next order. Carbon fiber one is the first one here, but as you can see, it comes in all kinds of different colors and materials. And yeah, I would highly recommend one if you are looking for a brand new wallet. In addition to the wallets, I actually really love the Ridge's line of backpacks. I've actually been using them nonstop since getting them as well, and they're super convenient. They're some of the best backpacks I've ever personally had, and if you're looking to upgrade your backpack, would definitely recommend some of these. I have their duffel bag, I have their weatherproof bag, and their ripstop commuter backpack, and they're all incredible, honestly. So I've linked my favorite products from them down in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I'd be happy to talk to you about my experience using the Ridge's products, and as I always say, I don't take many sponsorships on this channel. I only work with companies that I believe in, that have products that I would personally use, and I'm happy to say that the Ridge continues to be one of those companies. So thank you so much to the Ridge for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to go to ridge.com/VGC and use code VGC for 10% off your next order. Alright, first match of the day, and this is a really cool team. I haven't seen Corviknight in like a year, it feels like. But Chandelure, Drampa, Calyrex-S, very cool. First thing to watch out for is Weakness Policy Kyogre, right? Volt switch into Weakness Policy here. That's pretty scary. Could be Weakness Policy on Moltres as well, though. Man, this is a really tough team to go up against, because they have a really, scary offensive faster mode with Raichu Kyogre, but then, I don't know, Corviknight, Drampa, Chandelure. That's tough to break through. I have no idea what our best approach here is. Also, Necrozma is really bad into the Moltres, right? So honestly, I kind of want to play towards Liepard, Staktaka, Necrozma. Am I wild in wanting to bring Vikavolt over Torkoal? My opponent has 3 Electric Weeks. I'm going to try it out, because I think if I'm probably going to max Staktaka in this game, and with maxing Staktaka, I can go for max Rockfall. Is that the right answer? I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out. Either way, thanks so much as always for watching. If you enjoy, please share your support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you once again to The Ridge for sponsoring today's video. Okay, what do we got? Alright, this works for me. This is actually very good for us, I think. I don't even have to copycat here, do I? It's probably the best approach. I don't know, I kind of want to just Snarl Max Rockfall. What's their switching into Max Rockfall? Oh, they don't have a Rock Resist. Okay, so Staktaka is so essential for us here. I don't know, I'm kind of down to Snarl Max Rockfall to start this off. Because I'm not really being pressured by too much damage. Yeah, they don't protect either. Or sorry, they don't max either or switch out. I guess Moltres protecting turn 1 is what I'm scared of right now. And then me activating a Weakness Policy. Actually, I feel like that's probably pretty likely to happen right now. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe it was correct to just copycat, but then the thing is, Liepard's so useless. I see. Okay. And we miss. Oh no, it's Colbur. Huh. Man, could you imagine if I just Rockfall Chandelure there? I think my opponent would just forfeit after turn 1. I feel like this is probably Nasty Plot Moltres then. It's okay though. I'm just gonna go Max Guard Trick Room turn 2. Yeah, it is Nasty Plot. Cobra Ally Switch Chandelure. Sheesh. Turn 1 Ally Switch is always such a strong play because your opponent's never gonna expect it, especially if it's something that you don't even see that often, like Chandelure. Like, if I saw, I don't know, like Cresselia lead here, I'd be inclined to think a little bit more about Ally Switch, but with Chandelure, it's just not something that even crossed my mind, quite frankly. But that's okay. I mean, we get a knockout on the board, and like I said, I can copycat this next turn. We get a Beast Boost as well. Is it defense or attack here? Nah, it's defense. Okay. Attack would be really nice. And it is Goggles Moltres, so it's good to know the item there. It's not Weakness Policy. Okay. It's only at +1, and we have the special defense boost right now, so it's not that scary. They're going to bring out Kyogre, but that's fine. My only question is whether or not Raichu is my opponent's last one. This makes me think, by the way, even more like Kyogre actually has the weakness policy. So I am just going to copycat here and max guard. And if they don't have Raichu in the back, like Vikavolt is so good. What did I bring as my last one? Oh, right, it's my restricted Pokemon. Necrozma. Okay, they don't max either. It could just be Water Spout. Nasty Plot again. Which would be a really good play. We gotta Trick Room up. Oh, man. I really should have just targeted Chandelure turn 1. They risk missing Origin Pulse. It does hit. I wonder if -1 was actually going to KO Staktaka in that position. I'm not sure. Life Orb Kyogre. This just gets wilder and wilder. Very interesting. Okay. Well, time to go into Vikavolt. Vikavolt. What to do here? I want to max Rockfall and Thunder. It's just in what order? Kyogre's Life Orb. I'm just worried about Raichu in the back. Would they have brought Raichu in the back? That'd be a really smart decision on their end. Yeah, unfortunately, this is the downside of Necrozma, right? It can't do anything into Galarian-Moltres. Like, literally nothing. Galarian-Moltres is probably one of the worst Pokemon to go up against because you can't even Max Quake into it. I mean, I lean towards just going for Thunder. This is so tough. I feel like Kyogre protecting here feels so... Okay, they're gonna max... I think this is probably max guard, but the thing is, like, I could have Thundered into Kyogre, max Rockfall, split my damage, but I feel like we're too far behind at this point. And if they get careless and actually don't protect Moltres here... Because if you protected Moltres and just attacked with Kyogre, that's super risky. Because you would just feint to Thunder. They made the max guard play too. Wow. Oh, it's a double. Okay. That probably still wins them the game though, because I didn't change the weather. If you're max guarding, that doesn't imply you don't have protect. You don't want me to change the weather there. Now the interesting thing is I have Stone Edge. So like we could definitely still win this game just by Thunder Stone Edge, but I can miss Stone Edge. That's the main scary thing here. I don't even know if this double up KOs, but it is pretty strong. If we hit, like okay, we hit Stone Edge. That's huge. It's close, but I think Thunder actually gets this knockout. That would be huge, right? Because then their max is effectively wasted. All right, don't let me down, Vikavolt. You did not let me down. Thank you very much. Now, the thing is, we should survive a Life Orb Origin Pulse. I just don't know if I can beat my opponent's last one. No miss, unfortunately. Miss would have been so huge there. And the odds of missing one are actually not that slim. Okay. We feint from stack, but Vikavolt hangs on with the Sliver. Alright, what's my opponent's last one here? What do I even want to see? Probably the Corviknight. That's Corviknight. Okay. Oh, but who do I target here? Corviknight's more likely, like, it just comes down to if I make the right Thunder selection here. Because either Kyogre protects, or it doesn't. That's basically it. So I basically have to read into whether or not I think Kyogre's protecting this turn. I mean, I lean towards Thunder Corviknight here. And Moongeist Beam. Into Kyogre. Ah, they didn't protect. Good read. The thing is, I went with this play because they could still just miss Origin Pulse to lose. Like, they need to hit 3 Origin Pulses right now, effectively. Single miss and they lose the game. I don't think Life Orb Moongeist Beam KOs. There's no way. It's gonna do a lot, but... Oh, that was really good damage. They double hit Origin Pulse again. A single Origin Pulse miss and we'd have won this one, but I of course could have Thundered Kyogre in this position. Now they don't even need to risk a miss because they just protect. Yeah, we would have won if I Thundered Kyogre there, but obviously Kyogre protecting seems like a decent possibility. Whereas Corviknight's less likely to carry Protect. Yeah, now you just protect Water Spout. This was so close. I got thrown off by the ally switch for sure. It was a good... if I max Rockfalled Kyogre rather than Moltres, I should have read into Moltres max guarding because that changes the weather and it would have done enough chip damage to... in this endgame, we had a guaranteed win. But I don't feel too bad about a loss like this. Like, my opponent had a really cool team. Life Orb Kyogre is really interesting. We had a decent matchup into it. But... And if they miss... Oh, I guess I shouldn't have forfeited there. Because... No, Water Spout would KO us at that point. Yeah, we're like 20 HP. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, I actually should have played that out. Okay, yeah, I want to see this team. Focus Sash Raichu, Eerie Impulse, Life Orb Kyogre, as we saw. They had Ice Beam, so that was a guaranteed win for them, but we didn't know that, so we actually should have played it out. Nasty Plot Goggles, as we saw. Policy Corviknight. That's wild. With Power Trip. But we would have won the game if I just Thundered into... Because I don't think Power Trip one-shots the Necrozma, Drampa, Colbur, Chandelure. What a set. Trick Room, Alex H. Will-O-Wisp, Burning Jealousy. Okay. I mean, that was a really, really close game. Like I said, I had to make the prediction with Vikavolt there in the end. And the thing is, like I said, even if... Like, what I was thinking was even if I made the wrong prediction, if they miss either Pokemon with Origin Pulse, we would win the game too. So, in the end, like, the odds weren't that bad for us. Because they ended up hitting 4 Origin Pulses in a row. And Origin Pulse is, what, 85% accuracy? So to hit 4 consecutively is not actually amazing for my opponent. So, like, in that situation, I was like, even if I called the prediction incorrectly, then I still can be bailed out by a single miss. In the end, they connected with every Origin Pulse, so the Kyogre was very clutch, but yeah. Alright, next match of the day, we got some hyper offense here. I think this is just a clear max guard angle to set up Trick Room and then try to sweep with Necrozma. Pretty straightforward, actually. They don't have any fire resist, so Torkoal under Trick Room is kind of fire, too. No pun intended. Probably just Vikavolt. Yeah. I actually don't know if my opponent can start max... Like, I feel like this should be a very favorable matchup for us, barring any crazy shenanigans. Because they don't have Fake Out, so there's no way for... unless they have Trick Room on Whimsicott. That's the one thing we have to watch out for here. Yeah. That is the one thing I'm nervous about. Trick Room on Whimsicott. There's nothing else. Like, my opponent's team is just the classic, like, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Hyper Offense stuff. And Trick Room, if you get Trick Room up against that kind of composition, you typically will win. It's just typically getting Trick Room up is very hard, but this is exactly where Copycat into the Trick Room works out really well for us. So it's going to be Thundurus Calyrex. That's fine. You know what's interesting here, though, is that they have sub Calyrex. Ooh. Sub Calyrex would actually be so good here against us. So I'm going to go for the max guard Copycat play, but if they have sub, this becomes a very interesting game. You have to lead properly to even have a chance against us here, and they absolutely led properly. Especially if this is AV Thundurus with Brutal Swing, for example, or Foul Play. So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna max. Is it Thundurus or Calyrex? I'd prefer to see Calyrex maxing. If Calyrex maxes, we're in really good shape, but it should be Thundurus, yeah. Alright, this just got really interesting. I wish we had Encore on Liepard. That'd be so nice. So the thing is, I could have gone Liepard Staktaka as well, but my opponent had Urshifu as well as Landorus, so I was a little bit hesitant. But I didn't consider the option of substitute Calyrex. I feel like it probably has sub. And if it does, this is a very interesting game. So let's see. If they don't have sub, I honestly don't even feel that bad right now, but time will tell. Okay, there's Copycat. Trick Room is up. Now, granted, we still have Torkoal and Staktaka in the back, right? Both of those are pretty valuable for us. Okay, yep, there's Max Darkness. And Astral Barrage. Okay, no sub. That's good, that's good, that's good. That's very good. Whew. Life Orb, okay. I'm gonna be honest here. I want to double up onto Thundurus with Fake Tears and Max Mindstorm. Even if I lose both Pokemon, I get a free switch into Staktaka and Torkoal, and I can just spam Eruption from there. If Calyrex protects it. If you're my opponent, you should attack with both Pokemon in this position. But I'd rather knock out their Dynamax threat. Yeah. Because they don't have a single fire resist. Eruption Torkoal should just win the game. And I don't think they can stall out Trick Room. Because their team is just so hyper-offensive. Thundurus is going to be the bulkiest thing we have to deal with, basically. So it's like, ideally we KO Thundurus. Ideally Calyrex protects here, but I don't think it should. The correct play for my opponent's Calyrex is to not protect. Ooh, but they protect. Okay, I feel like this just wins us the game then. It'd be very inexcusable to lose from this position. Now, we're going to activate Defiant, but it's fine. Even if you're AV, I would think Max Psychic KOs. I'm not 100% sure about that. Let's see. How good are you? Necrozma, let's find out. Ooh, it actually does survive. But once again, I'm actually okay with that, because if you pick up a KO, I get Torkoal out, and I can just click Eruption a billion times. Should be Max Dark. Huh. I mean, we take those. I think my opponent was clearly just reading into Max Guard. Saying, but in my position, like, I'm willing to lose both Pokemon right now, because Torkoal and Staktaka is just perfect as the cleanup crew in this game. Oh wait, what am I saying? Staktaka? I have Vikavolt. Vikavolt's fine too. But I think now my opponent actually has no shot at winning the game. I can definitely understand that play though. The thing about Max Guard on Calyrex is you just faint to a Phantasm anyway. So they probably weren't anticipating Fake Tears. Thunder surviving is scary, but in the end, it is not going to make a difference. At this point, all we have to make sure is my opponent doesn't get any free switch-ins. So we can just go for Phantasm and Eruption. And yeah, I think it's inexcusable to lose after turn 2. Okay, get Eruption off. See, the thing is, here I could have Max Quake to get a special defense boost, but I don't really care about a special defense boost right now. And the thing is, theoretically, Calyrex could have switched out into Landorus. Well, I don't know. Special defense boost actually could be valuable. I don't think my opponent has any chance of coming back, barring double protect on both of their Pokemon. Like, they go protect, 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 right? And this is why the copycat strategy can be so effective. It is specifically very good into the hyper-offensive stuff my opponent has. And the beauty of having Psychic Terrain now, Urshifu can't Sucker Punch. So there's that Landorus. That's why I didn't want to Max Quake immediately. We have Vikavolt in the back. Psychic Terrain is up. Dynamax is over. Yeah, the special defense boost wouldn't have helped at all in the end. I mean, it's another Eruption with Torkoal for sure. They're gonna... What do I have in the back? Vikavolt. I think I'm just gonna Photon Geyser and Eruption here, because it's like... Oh, no, but Landorus isn't AV. I walked into that. I should have targeted Urshifu. I mean, it's still fine, to be honest. Oh, it's water. I didn't even realize it was water Urshifu. I should have I should have double checked that first. It's just, you see Dark Urshifu so often now. They went for Aqua Jet rather than Surging Strikes, which is an interesting decision. So, yeah. This is already a really tough matchup for my opponent. You should always double check Urshifu. I just, like, have seen so many Dark Urshifus, and on this kind of team comp, I just always assume Dark Urshifu, so that was a poor assumption on my end. Anyway, we knew Landorus was an Assault Vest because of Thundurus, and for that reason, it actually makes more sense, I think, to target Urshifu there. Although, given that they're Water Urshifu, Surging Strikes doesn't even KO Torkoal, so actually I'm fine with the play that I made last turn. Yeah. I think there wasn't too much my opponent could have done, but if they didn't have sub on Calyrex. But, actually, yeah, like, to be honest, let's say the turn that they protected Calyrex, right? Let's say they went for a KO that turn. Well, then I just get Torkoal and the Vikavolt in, and then I just spam Eruption. But then the thing is, the Calyrex could protect. I would Eruption, Thundurus faints. You bring out the... I think we're probably still fine. It was tough for my opponent to do much against Trick Room in that position. Staktaka may have been better rather than Vikavolt, specifically against what my opponent brought, just because it does a little bit more damage, but I was fine having Vikavolt there as well. So, pretty fast-paced second game, but that's what happens when you use Hyper Offense, or when you use Hard Trick Room and you're actually able to get Trick Room up against Hyper Offense. So, yeah. Let's look for our next match here. Third game of the day, and we got Pikachu. Okay. The Amoonguss is what makes this hard, right? Because if they didn't have Amoonguss, it's just a clear, like, we just Trick Room. But they also have Pikachu, which can fake out us. Uh-oh. I don't know what our best approach is here. What am I nervous about? Pikachu Kyogre? Pikachu. We don't have a electric resist or immune. I'm just trying to determine my easiest path to setting up Trick Room. I don't really see it. Maybe it's Liepard Porygon. Torkoal Necrozma. I don't know how I feel about this one. Pikachu alone's really scary because it can choose to max or not max, and both are not amazing outcomes. Now, Liepard has a fast fake out. That benefits us a little bit. Kyogre and Whimsicott. Wow. If I actually just led Liepard and Necrozma, we could have just gone for the max guard stuff turn 1. It's Trace Prankster. I think Porygon should survive a max move. I'm really hoping so. So I'm just going to fake out Trick Room turn 1 here. I don't think Water Spout should one-shot Porygon. If it doesn't, then we can just heal up the next turn. This is pretty scary, though, especially because my opponent has a Amoonguss in the back. That's their Trick Room answer. So they should have a Amoonguss. I don't know. They didn't max... How could I faked out Kyogre? I don't really like that, though. Okay. Well, we definitely have to fake out Whimsicott. It was eject button. Oh, sheesh. Amoonguss should come out now if he brought it. There's no way they didn't bring it. It's like the one Pokemon you have to bring in this matchup. Yeah. There it is. Water Spout. Yep. Alright, Porygon takes that decently well. Now the thing is, Amoonguss just gets to spam Spore. I have Torkoal in the back, so that's good. I think I just want to Fake Tears the Kyogre before I faint. You could just Spore Porygon and Spout here. That's a double KO. That's not good. You gotta fake out before I faint, I suppose, and I'll go for a recover, but... Wow, the eject button actually saves my opponent. Okay, they just Rage Powder, though. You know what? It could be worse then, I guess. Because I recover, bring in Torkoal, and that, if you're not Sash on Whimsicott, though, that makes me think Sash is on the Amoonguss. Okay. Well, honestly, I thought they were better off just going Spore Water Spout, but that might imply that Amoonguss isn't min speed and they actually have some speed investment onto it, which actually makes a little bit sense. Like, I could see it being max speed Amoonguss in the context of this matchup, because they have Tailwind. 2 Tailwind users. I'm going to go Torkoal first. This means my opponent is more or less forced to switch out that Kyogre. But I think I need offense right now other than Torkoal, so I think I'm actually forced to switch out Porygon right now into Necrozma. So we're going to go for Eruption here. And we're going to switch out into Necrozma. Now the upside is that I got the fake tears off successfully into Amoonguss. But the downside is if it's actually Sash Amoonguss, you could just Spore me right now. And if I'm switching in Necrozma on a Spore, we probably lose. So, it may have been smarter to have just stayed in and clicked Ice Beam. Interesting. Okay, they protect and they stay in with Kyogre and they don't max Kyogre. I didn't even... Oh, it's just a double protect. Okay. Hey, I'll take that. I get a free switch in. But that's a pretty good play on my opponent's end. The switch helps a lot, though, because I actually need to make use of my Trick Room turns right now. 2 turns of Trick Room left. Kyogre's in a really tough spot. You know, I feel like the odds of their last one being Cinderace are actually really high. I didn't get to do any damage under Trick Room so far. And I really don't want to max Necrozma right now, but I feel kind of forced to. I just think if this is Sash Amoonguss, we're in so much trouble. Interesting that they don't switch out or max either. Or sorry, they might be maxing Kyogre. I think this implies to me they have Cinderace as their last one, which would make a lot of sense. If it is Cinderace as the last one, I think we probably lose, assuming it has max Darkness. So they did a really good job stalling out my Trick Room. The eject button threw me off for a spin as well. Oh, this is interesting, though. They're maxing Kyogre. So if you're not Sash Amoonguss and I actually Eruption to KO you, we could still win this. I think the tricky thing is if you don't get the lead matchup correctly, it can be very difficult to climb out of. Okay, so they just goes for Rage Powder, which makes me think it's Sash, but we'll see. I wonder if Torkoal can survive a Geyser if we get the Max Quake off. Yep, there's the Sash on Amoonguss. This really makes me think they're max speed Amoonguss, because otherwise your best play is to just Spore me in this position. I could have set up Terrain there rather than get a special defense boost. That may have been better. I don't know, though. I honestly am happy to see Kyogre max, because I think if Cinderace was in the back, we were really doomed. And it might still be in the back, but now it's a little bit less effective. I kind of want Torkoal. Do I want Torkoal to faint here? I probably do, so I get a free switch in. No, Torkoal's too good. But that actually might work against us. No. A free switching into Porygon would have been very, very nice there. I feel like Whimsicott should come back out. Now my question is, does Whimsicott have fake tears? I don't think a Body Press max Psychic KOs Kyogre. Oh, interesting. They just bring Cinderace outright. Well, Sucker Punch here seems likely, right? Huh. If you Sucker Punch, though, I can Body Press you. I want a Mind Storm and Body Press here. Maybe it was better to not go for Quake then. Like, if I just went... Okay, they max guard. Are they Sucker Punching into... Who are they Sucker Punching into here? Okay, into Necrozma. Jeez, that's too much damage, though, I think. Because this is the last turn of Trick Room. So, like, I'll KO with Body Press, I think. Oh, that doesn't even KO? Oh, brother. Amoonguss with Sash was just too much of a nuisance here. I didn't get Terrain up. That was a great max guard on Kyogre. I really thought Body Press at least could pick up the KO there. I mean, now you just Sucker Punch Necrozma again. Yeah, I have no out at this point. You need to win under Trick Room with this team. If not, if you don't like sweep under Trick Room, you're gonna lose. I don't know. Vikavolt could have been better here. Although I honestly think my opponent should have just Dynamax Cinderace rather than Kyogre. Yeah, even if Torkoal fainted, I don't think we'd be in a winning position. We just didn't do enough damage in the early game. And I wasted a Fake Tears, basically. Yeah, I think this one's a wrap. Okay. Fun game. Eject button was huge because it gave my opponent a free switch into Amoonguss on turn 1 immediately. And Sash Amoonguss makes things trickier, so this is always the downside if you're using a hard Trick Room team. If your opponent has any slow Pokemon, they could take advantage of your own Trick Room, and that's a really big issue. So we had no out after Trick Room was over. Even if I read into like Kyogre Protect and I like KO'd Cinderace with a Max Quake, I think Kyogre just sweeps through us too easily in the end because we don't have any Water Resist or Immunes, and that's a problem. And what were other Pokemon? Vikavolt and Staktaka. Kyogre is just really good if you're able to protect it and prevent it from getting, you know, hit by an Eerie Impulse. Man, how could I have played this game better? If we know if we know it's Whim Kyogre lead, I guess it's Necrozma Liepard lead. But then the Amoonguss is just such a big issue, right? With Focus Sash, like it can just Spore me under Trick Room, so could be Vikavolt, but the problem with Vikavolt is that maybe it is Vikavolt. No, but then I can still get Spore. I can't knock out Amoonguss. It's not just Amoonguss that's the problem here, right? It's Amoonguss plus Kyogre. There's a check switcheroo with Taunt. Sing Pikachu. Life Orb Cinderace, Mystic Water Kyogre, Sash Amoonguss. It was max speed. That explains why my opponent was playing like the way they did this entire time. We know it's max speed. That's a game plan I gotta dwell on a little bit because I can't think of something immediately. But we basically didn't get to use enough out of our Trick Room there, unfortunately. But that's okay. My opponent executed that really, really well, and that's the downside when you commit to an archetype like hard Trick Room. It can be very, very tricky, no pun intended, going up against really slow Pokemon from your opponents, and they make you work a lot harder for your win. And like I mentioned, you really need to maximize your 4 turns of Trick Room when you're using this team. If you can't win, essentially, or get too much of a lead before it ends, you're probably going to lose the game. So, yeah. I'll play one last game with this team, though. Last game of the day, and I'm going to be real, for some reason, I didn't even think you could use both Calyrex Ice Rider and Glastrier. That's really cool. Wow, this is such an interesting matchup. Because if I set up Trick Room, their Staktaka is a big problem. Yeah, I mean, Staktaka in general from their end is very scary. Could go Liepard, Necrozma, Torkoal, and then my Staktaka, I think. Wow, I've never seen Calyrex, Glastrier, and Spectrier all on the same team. That's basically the maximum number of horses, restricted horses you can use. Just throw on a Mudsdale, and you're good. That is super cool. So the thing is, like, Necrozma is actually amazing offensively here, but there are a couple of issues. My opponent has Indeedee. First of all, that's a problem because it redirects the max Phantasms away, and Phantasm is so valuable against pretty much everything my opponent has here. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that my opponent also has Staktaka. So it's like, I don't necessarily, like, this is, once again, the awkward thing. In the last game we played, like, Amoonguss was an issue, right? Because it takes advantage of our Trick Room, and now my opponent has Staktaka, and that's a problem. They're going to go with Calyrex and Pheromosa, though. And you know what? I am completely okay with this, because I think turn 1, I kind of want to just go for Fake Tears Phantasm into the Calyrex. Kind of down for that. But they could switch Calyrex out into Indeedee. That is the right play from their end to make, to be honest. I don't want to Snarl and activate a Policy. Okay, even if you switch in Indeedee and I whiff Phantasm this turn, it is not the end of the world. And they stay in. That is really good for us. I don't know. I kind of had a feeling they'd stay in, because if you bring in Indeedee, you're just in such an awkward position. Like, Pheromosa Indeedee doesn't do much damage to us at all. So, I don't know. I mean, they could speed swap here, but if I... This is a KO onto Calyrex. We did the calc the other day, right? Even if Calyrex is at +1 special defense and it's max HP, it's still a guaranteed KO. Interesting. They don't max Calyrex. That's a good decision on their end. If they maxed, they would be in a lot of trouble. Okay, they just close combat. You know, I'm fine with that. Things could have been a lot worse this turn, but kind of a waste of a max. Let's see how fast their Calyrex is relative to us. Okay, we outspeed. I mean, we one-shot the restricted Pokemon, so that's always a decent start to the game. I'm actually very glad to see Pheromosa, because that implies you're going with the faster route. So what comes in now? One Ice Horse faints, another one comes in to take its place. That's funny. We have Torkoal stack in the back though, so like I think we should set up Trick Room, because at this point Torkoal slaps. So I'm down a Copycat and Max Guard this turn. Wait. I could have just gone Fake Tears Phantasm onto Glastrier. My concern, though, is if they speed swap onto Glastrier and then snowball too quickly with Glastrier. They might... I would speed swap in their position. I don't know. If we went Fake Tears... Okay, they're going to max Glastrier. I'm hoping to see speed swap. Best case would be speed swap and then you max Hailstorm into Necrozma. And, like, I think there's a small chance they go for that. Pretty funny, though. Yeah, Calyrex-I and then Glastrier. No Staktaka, which I'm surprised by, but honestly pretty relieved to see. Okay, so we will get Trick Room up. Now, this could be a very awkward Trick Room. I think we were probably better off just attacking this turn, to be honest. Oh, that's a great Max Knuckle. Now my question is, what is the Pheromosa going for here? It's a really good Max Knuckle. But this is the thing, right? If they went Speed Swap Max Knuckle, we'd actually be in a world of hurt. So show me Speed Swap right now. Yep, okay, good. I made this play banking off them going for that, and it worked out for us. So that's good. Now we can go into Torkoal. The thing about going to Torkoal that's awkward is they can protect... what's your item on Glastrier is the question here. Is it AV? I think the safest play is to just go Eruption here and KO the Pheromosa. Because we have a guaranteed knockout onto Pheromosa this turn. I'm not sure Eruption plus max anything KOs Glastrier here anyway. So we can go Eruption. I don't know. I actually really want to target Glastrier here. Okay, I'm going to Eruption Mindstorm Glastrier. The downside here is if Glastrier actually has Protect and then you Speed Swap onto my Torkoal, so then you can Speed Swap back onto Glastrier the next turn. Okay, they don't Protect though, which is good. I don't know if we KO Glastrier from that range. They close combat, so they didn't go for Speed Swap. That's good. Max Mindstorm. Does it KO? Okay, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Torkoal's a really essential offensive component to this team. And it was good for us my opponent didn't bring Indeedee. It's weird seeing Pheromosa outspeed the Necrozma. But now we we still have a Pokemon in the back. They were bringing out their last one. Pheromosa's in a really awkward spot. And it's Spectrier. They went full horses here. Or, I said full horses, which sounds like 4 horses, but no, they brought 3 horses. We outspeed Spectrier. We know it's not Sash. Torkoal outspeeds Pheromosa, so guaranteed win by going for Body Press and Moongeist Beam here. Really cool team here, though, honestly. Definitely a fun set of teams to go up against today. That Pikachu team was a sweat. You know, once again, when you're using a restrictor like Necrozma, things do get a little bit more matchup based, and the restricted Pokemon your opponent has is a really big deal. If they have stuff like Galarian-Moltres, like in Game 1, for example, that's a really big deal as well. So there's a lot of stuff that can be troublesome. But overall, Necrozma Dawn Wings was pretty fun. You know, we net a fair amount of victories. We played 8 games total between the 2 episodes, went 3-1 in the first one, 2-2 here. So 5-3 total, which is about the win rate I'd expect for something like this. Like, I think like over 50% is pretty good if you're using a team like this, featuring restricted like this specifically. Pokemon like this, I think, can net you some really fun wins. They're not going to be consistent across the board generally, and that's why they're not used very commonly in VGC, right? But at the end of the day, I wanted to feature this team because, hey, one, it's a really cool set. It's very well designed around Necrozma, and it shows how Necrozma can be an absolute monster when prepared and set in the right setting. I have seen some other sets that people are sending in, whether it be Weakness Policy or Meteor Beam with the Power Herb. So there's a bunch of different ways you can make Necrozma work, but this team, I think, certainly was one that I enjoyed a lot. So I hope you all enjoyed it. This was really, really fun to play with. And yeah, details for the team, once again, are in the description below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And thank you so much to Ridge once again for sponsoring today's video. And I'll catch you all next time. All right. Peace.